Greetings.
Welcome.
Welcome to or welcome back to Morbid Mondays, your unhinged source for what the fuck moments in history or throughout history. We will be taking turns. I can't read today.
That's
Uh,
okay. I couldn't get it out last week, so I mean, we're in the same boat, buddy. All right, take two.
yeah. Greetings.
Welcome.
Welcome to or welcome back to Morbid Mondays, your unhinged source for what the fuck moments throughout history, where we take turns giving you your weekly tour of all of the gross, gory, and downright odd moments in history. I am your host, Brian.
I'm Katie.
Now let's get into it. Now, it took
It only took us two takes and
only-
20 minutes working on the sound?
Jesus Christ and just freaking out the whole time.
I'm so serious. I'm gonna buy those goddamn little fucking Warhammer seals and just start sticking them to shit that doesn't work.
Yeah, no,
Fix yourself
no joke.
for the Emperor.
We might have to at some point. I mean, good God, it's crazy. Like it just never wants to. Everything just giving me problems, fighting me, damn ghosts. So it took me a little longer than normal to write this because, like many of us, I woke up to the news that we had bombed a country.
Jesus Christ.
And there was more stuff going on in the whole world that was kind of centered around nuclear arms. I say with my Texas accent.
Yay!
And yeah, and all that kind of stuff, because we're always constantly concerned that somebody's going to get their hands on a nuke, because we all have our hands on nukes. They're everywhere. And that is the center of our episode today.
Oh, fun. The world's on fire.
Yeah. It's so I'm going to start with a little bit of background stuff.
Okay.
Throughout history, people have theorized that at some point there would be weapons so great and terrible that all war would be meaningless. Jules Verne talked about this. Several military leaders. Richard Gatling, the inventor of the Gatling gun, part of the reason he cited why he was okay with inventing the thing that he had invented is that he thought it would show how useless war was. Little did he know that his gun would be mass-produced and used all over the world very quickly. Because that's always how this works out. There is never a big enough gun. Because our brains struggle with the idea of mass casualty. We can't perceive it. It's too big.
Yeah, unless you've witnessed it.
Yeah.
Your brain can't really comprehend it. Like, it doesn't feel real, and especially considering that we come from not only a generation but a society that plays like civilization games.
Right. Yeah, and we always also have this like kind of ego where somebody says, "Well, what if somebody broke in your house right now?" And then we say, "Well, I'd do this." Right? And the reality is, well, you weren't prepared for it.
Yeah.
It's not like you were sitting there with a shotgun in your hand. So the reality is something bad will probably happen to you. And that kind of ego kind of pervades a lot of policy making around stuff. This is what we're going to talk about today is a little bit different because we're going to start talking. We're going to start off by talking about something called MAD, or mutually assured destruction.
Yeah.
A great policy. No, a policy I hate and drives me nuts, which is called the nuclear deterrence theory, which is, of course, if we all have nukes, nobody will use them because we're all afraid to use them because we'll get wiped out as well.
Yeah.
And it's just the kind of like, if you shoot, I shoot at the same time.
And everybody
of
dies.
Warfare.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one would ever be crazy enough to do that. Which is not.
Y'all remember Fallout?
Yeah. Right, which is not true. We've come very, very close many, many times. It also does not stop conventional warfare at all, which we've proven thoroughly during the Cold War.
Literally.
And it will not stop religious zealotism, because if you believe hard enough that everything will work out fine, you will do anything. And that is kind of at the center of why people get so freaked out about the Middle East, is because they have this kind of TV version of the Middle East in their heads where like everybody is running around with an AK-47, and
Which is not true.
which is not true. Yeah, like it most people do not want nukes to really exist. Um this is not me like shilling for Iran or anything like that. Like I realized that there were some serious problems with the political organization of Iran, and their funding of extremist activities kind of all over the world. At the same time, I also can understand that if someone right next to you has a nuke, like, and you know they might use it on you,
Yeah.
I imagine that freaks you out a little bit. And the whole world, for our whole lives, and really our parents' whole lives, has really been driven off of this idea that everybody's got nukes and is going to get you. The Cold War generation grew up with this.
They made a whole clock about it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, was it Scientific American that has the
I think so. The Doom Clock.
the however many minutes to midnight?
Yeah. And we've been stuck at like 2 minutes to midnight for the last 30 years.
Yeah, somebody recently, and we were driving up to Houston, and they said, "How close, realistically, do you think we are?" I said, "No, we're always very close, because the whole world
We are one world leader's temper tantrum away.
Yeah, like that. Everything's, especially with with some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to quit musing, and I'll get into the script that I've written.
You're always so organized. My God. I aspire to be this organized. I want to write a script.
If only my brain was.
Oh,
though.
yeah, dude. I'm like 4 squirrels on a fucking, what is the round thing?
Treadmill.
No.
That's what I'm going to call it. Spinning wheel.
The little running wheel.
Yeah, that's probably what they're just called.
I have
wheels.
no idea.
I don't know either. Round and round we go.
Really?
So we've talked about nuclear deterrence theory. To accomplish this stalemate that is required for this theory to really work, America started something called the Strategic Air Command, or SAC. Many of us know the images of SAC. This was a program that was created. SAC is truly one of the most like impressive logistical feats in like human innovation. What it essentially accomplished was the idea of, well, if we're going to have a nuclear deterrent, we need to be able to drop it at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
So there was many years where the Allied powers, really NATO, but mostly the U.S., had constant bombers in the air, 24/7, and a very large network of airfields, bombers, refueling tanks, sometimes in the air, that just constantly moved around.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah, and the idea
and expensive.
If anyone drops a nuke, we need to be able to nuke the absolute dog shit out of them immediately. And that was the kind of pervading idea for a very long time, because the Cold War wasn't just the U.S. and the Soviet Union. Europe is in between all of that.
Yeah.
Right? So even before they had intercontinental ballistic missiles, the idea was, well, they could just drop one on a bomber. And we needed to be able to answer that super, super fast. So they thought. Turned out nobody wanted to destroy all life on planet Earth. So that never really came to fruition. In fact, almost all of the bombs that have ever been dropped have been dropped solely for testing.
Thank God. With like 2 very sad exceptions.
Yes. Which unfortunately were also like the smallest nukes ever made.
Oh God.
Outside of the like Davy Crockett and weird little things like that.
And they were devastating.
Yeah. So, according to Walter Bein in 1997, the U.S. bomber strength peaked at over 2,500 bombers.
My God.
After production of over 2,000 B-47s and almost 750 B-52s. That's the big bomber that everybody's used to seeing, the Stratofortress.
Not the firework.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. 50% of SAC aircraft and 80% of SAC bombers were B-47s. American forces in the 1980s would regularly fly near Russian airspaces to test their radar response. So we would get really, really close to see like how fast they scrambled jets, because that gave us logistical information on, hey, if they're really slow, for instance, we could bomb their bases before they had a chance to scramble jets to bomb our side from, say, Germany. And that is where a great deal of weapons were kept for a very long time, is on the German border. A lot of bad shit was going down around the Cold War that really heated things up, specifically in the year of 1983. 1983 was the year of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Korean Airlines Flight 007, not the fun kind, just just 007.
Shaken, not stirred.
Yeah. Korean Airlines Flight 007 was a passenger jet that was shot down over Soviet airspace with missiles on September 1st, 1983, near Sakhalin Island, Russia, killing 269 persons on board. Initially, they denied this, and then after some evidence came out, there's this whole thing of like, you guys are liars, you shot this thing down. What happened is that it was flying near Russia, and it just drifted off of its course. I don't know if there's a storm or what, but it flew into Russian airspace, and because of the size of the aircraft, they thought it was a bomber, and they shot it down.
My God.
Some people who listen to this podcast may realize or notice that Sakhalin Island, when we did our Yukio Mishima episode, his grandfather was the governor of that island when it was under Japanese territory. So, like, it was weird how this was connected. I was like, God, one fucking shitty thing to the next.
Yeah.
But obviously that was a tremendous tragedy. I mean, this was just a passenger jet going from one place to the next.
Like, literally, just people probably visiting or going home.
In order, the same year, 1987, we were doing a lot of military exercises. The Russians did them, we did them, European forces did them. One particular exercise was called the Able Archer exercise. Able Archer was the name of a November 1st, 1983 NATO exercise that simulated a nuclear war with the Soviet Union. The Soviets feared that this was the prelude to an actual U.S. first strike, because that is often how invasion starts. You're like, oh, we're just doing exercises in the area. Well, you're amassing forces, right? So, like, and then you go do
current
the thing.
Political climb.
Right. All over Taiwan, Sea of China, all that stuff, Sea of Japan. This plays out constantly. We're doing exercises. It makes the other side real nervous. And that's kind of what happened here. Things were really tense, Nate Jones says, the editor of the collective FOIA coordinator for the archive, said in a phone interview, there were boycotts of the Olympics in 1980 and 1984. The Soviet war in Afghanistan was ongoing. Korean Airlines shoot down was huge. The Soviet leaders were surprised by how aggressive and confrontational Ronald Reagan's foreign policy was. They liked working with Nixon, who they thought was a conservative, straight up and easy to do business with. Accounts vary widely between it being not a very big deal to it being a massive issue. If the Able Archer operation had gone on another 24 hours, the Russians may have struck first. So, like, I spoke through that kind of quickly and jumbled, but, like, the Able Archer exercise first started with, like, a land exercise, and then it started with a full-on, like, ballistic atomic weaponry exercise where they were flying planes around and stuff, and we got we amassed so much force and moved so close to their border that it freaked them out, and they thought that this may be it, right? Everybody went on red alert.
That's awful.
Yeah, and this is the climate that we're in. Like the Cuban Missile Crisis, same thing. Like there was that embargo run by the U.S. but by the Russian sub that tried to break the embargo between Cuba and like sail towards America. Those guys almost launched the nuke.
Oh my God!
In fact, the way that the Russian command works, there were three like high-ranking officers on the sub. All three of them had to agree. There is no like captain makes the final decision. All three of them have to agree. There was one holdout.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, that guy who we might mention a little bit later, maybe we'll even look it up, may have stopped World War III. Just being a dissenting voice.
Bro needs a statue and a plaque.
There's a lot of people. And
we've had a conversation about this. It was several months ago, and I think that conversation may be what this is
It is.
today's topic is on,
And
I'm very delighted.
I learned a lot. And well, let's get in. So
Yeah.
on September 26, 1983, a young Soviet officer clocked in for duty at the Serpokov 15 Command Center for the night shift. Stanislav Petrov.
It's always a night shift.
It's always
It's always a goddamn night shift.
Hell yeah. Night shift worker. Night shift workers in solidarity.
Hey, I was an opener.
Yeah. Well, you're one foot in the grave.
Yeah.
You guys get there at like 3 a.m.
3:30.
Stanislav Petrov was 44 years old. He had just celebrated his birthday on the 7th.
Oh. Fellow Virgo. Sup, bud?
He had been married. Da, he's Virgo. You know, I don't know. I can't do a Russian. I can't do Stanislav's accent. I have no idea what he sounded like.
We are control freaks.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yes.
In Stanislav's field. Stanislav had been married almost as long as he'd been in the military. He served the USSR from 1972 to 1984. This was his last year in the service.
Oh my God. Did he retire was he planning to retire on Friday?
Well,
because that seems to be like the trope.
Yeah, you're on your way out, almost like a movie. You're just like, I'm getting too old for this damn job, and then like all fucking hell breaks loose.
Yes.
Everything was going well, but just after 12 p.m., everything changed. The word Zapusk flashed on a signal light, and a siren went off.
Uh-oh.
Launch, it means.
No.
Priketyek Udar. I'm probably butchering this Russian. If you speak Russian, I'm very sorry. What I'm trying to say is missile attack. The instruments also read highly reliable.
Oh, no.
Stanislav waited for the confirmation of the attack from one of the land-based radar stations. That's how the system worked. The OCO Early Warning System, a computer system that analyzed satellite data for signs of a launch from U.S. ballistic missile fields, had notified Stanislav. He waited for confirmation of attack, and then he told the higher-ups. And that's just kind of how this works. They are the first human link in this chain. The brass then made the decision to fire or not based on the information. This is supposed to happen very quickly, because if a U.S. attack happens, we're in the space race age, right? Mm-hmm. This is the 1980s. We've already done all the landing on the moon, which means what the space race was really about is learning how to get a rocket to circumnavigate the world, which means that you can bomb anywhere.
Anyone. Yeah.
And that's, unfortunately, space nerds out there, that's really what the space race was about, was intercontinental ballistic missiles. And science. There was a lot of science that people really, really liked, but the military was not super always interested in that. Right along with that was the training of hypersonic flight, which is how we now have stealth bombers, because they move faster than sound. So
all on computers the size of entire rooms with the computing power of a TI-83.
Yep. IBMs and punch cards and gear Charles Babbage's gear machines. No, they were huge, giant, they were giant machines. A few minutes went by and there was no confirmation. Then the siren went off again, and there was no confirmation.
Oh my God.
That happened 3 more times.
So something was clearly malfunctioning.
Petrov had to decide. Should he report the incident as an attack or report it as a malfunction? A few more minutes went by and nothing happened. Obviously, because we're all still alive.
Yeah. Ain't nobody shooting no one. That's not what happened.
Petrov believed the alarm was a malfunction, like you said.
Period.
And he was right.
Let's go common sense.
It was determined that the false alarm had been created by a rare alignment of sunlight on high-altitude clouds above North Dakota and the orbits of the satellite. Essentially, he saw a rainbow.
A refraction of light through swamp gas.
And
what's the line from MIB?
Yeah, right. You saw a weather balloon Yeah, like whatever Tommy
Oh
Lee
my
Jones.
God.
There was a swamp gas off of Venus.
Yeah.
So that's what happened, is that
And
light
we're
had
all
bent around the Earth's atmosphere, and the way that the satellite read the data was essentially like a rocket trail. It just saw light moving very quick towards Russia, and it panicked because it's a machine. It just reads data, and it malfunctioned.
And we're all here because one guy said, "Hold up." Nah.
But wait till you hear why he said, hold up.
Oh,
because
no.
the logic of it is crazy and cold.
Oh,
right?
shit.
Like, he's a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. He's not like a crazy dude or anything. But he's right, and he's right for the weirdest reason. Yeah, an error later collected by cross-referencing geostationary satellites. That's how they figured this all out, is that they looked at all the information and like, what could have possibly gone wrong?
They looked at the weather report.
Yeah, and they were just like, well, no one launched anything. What happened? And then like, it's got to be this. That's the only thing they could figure out. Petrov would later state that he thought it was odd that only 5 missiles would be incoming and not an all-out attack.
I mean, hey, yo, you saved lives by going, that's not enough.
He attributed part of his judgment to the fact that he wasn't strictly military, but trained as a civilian. He believed some of his coworkers would have called it in immediately.
He's probably not wrong.
Just like following orders, right?
Yeah.
Just doing what they were trained to do and respond. Now, here's where we get into a little bit of mythos. When you read about Stanislav Petrov, it's often stated like he's the guy that saved the world.
He is.
So that's probably not true, according to like a lot of like people who study this very closely in the documents the Russian Federation released to the UN.
Mhm.
That the mechanisms, the way that this whole system really works is that so Stanislav sees the alert,
Mhm.
right? And then he's supposed to monitor it, make a decision of whether to call it in. But the brass only makes a decision to even let out the launch codes if multiple Stanislavs happen. Otherwise, it might be an isolated incident. They want to make sure someone's blown something up.
So, okay. So there is some actual like oversight.
Yeah, that's another reason why it has to be so fast. All of this is happening, by the way,
In like
in the span of
2
like
minutes?
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real short.
We're talking like rounds in D&D, man.
Yeah, this is right. It's a lot to talk about, but it's all happening super fast. So the sweaty decision of like Stanislav is probably pouring sweat.
Can you
while he's
imagine?
waiting for this confirmation?
Can you fucking imagine? You are literally holding the fate of the fate of the world
Yeah.
in your hands, because like literally, if you're wrong, you're accidentally bombing a country that is notorious in, all right, bitch, fuck around and find out.
Yeah, we created the idea of like carpet bombing large cities. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, we weren't the first to do it by any stretch. And in fact, we didn't actually create the idea. That came from an Italian general in like World War I. But we definitely are the best at it.
Listen, I will say this as an American. We have a bad reputation for, cool, you're gonna hit me? All right, I'm gonna hit you with a truck.
Yeah.
You slapped me? Here's a baseball bat.
So let's go back to that.
We escalate. That's the word I was looking for.
Let's go back to that Cuban Missile Crisis. Oh, right against the elbow. Oh, man. Damn, that didn't even sound like bone. It sounded like chainmail or something. What the hell?
I shifted. Ow!
Yikes.
Fuck. I'm
Yikes.
fine. Continue.
So, you remember we talked about the 3 guys in the sub, right?
Yeah.
So the reason they almost launched one off is because in that embargo, right, during the embargo, and we had the big, line of demarcation.
The imaginary line in the water.
Yeah, the U.S. Navy and the Coast Guard were trying to dissuade a Russian submarine, right,
Mhm.
a missile-armed Russian submarine from coming into the water. So what they did was they dropped training rounds, depth charges.
So there's a reason that we can still find those in the water today.
Yeah.
Like every now and again, like they'll pull one up and some poor fisherman's like, the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then that one guy.
Yeah, rocks their ship to little pieces.
Ugh.
So that's those things. they dropped in the water to shake the water because depth charges are for subs, right?
Yeah.
They cause the pressure to go up real fast and then capsize subs. They were dropping those into the water, and the Russians thought it was a legitimate attack. Remember, we didn't really truly know about each other's weaponry.
Yeah.
So they thought like these are the training depth charges in the 1980s were like probably legitimate depth charges in World War II. So like the ones that we drop now are just like, if I'm even near you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So that like
it's over.
That's one of those things. They thought they were actually being attacked. And so the guys in the sub had to make the decision to attack back or not.
That's crazy. That is
Stannis,
absolutely insane.
it's nuts, right? Like they're making that active decision. Do I start World War III or not? Like, if I press this launch, will it start World War III? Stanislav is sitting here in his little bunker, and he knows a couple of things. One, this is probably not real, but if it is real, he's going to die.
Like right now.
And that's something that we kind of gloss over in a lot of these like nuclear deterrent type action movies that they make, is that everybody involved thinks they might die in the next 30 minutes.
It's a horrible thought.
Thankfully, Stanislav and many, many other people, at least 9 that I could find, made the right call.
Oh my
and
God.
stopped total annihilation for most of the planet. Now, like I mentioned, it's unlikely that Stanislav actually saved the world because of how complicated this chain of hierarchy actually is.
Mm-hmm.
The Soviet chain of command was multi-tier and required multiple alerts, and they wanted to verify nuclear strike before they would even release the launch codes. However, given the volatile events of 1983, it is possible things could have gone terribly wrong. And here are a few more times where they almost did.
Jesus.
Just for fun.
Oh my God.
So, on October 5th.
Anybody else's anxiety on edge?
Remember?
How many times the civilization is almost wiped out because one guy got an itchy finger on a button?
Yep. On October 5th, 1960, dozens of missiles were reported detected. At one point, they were said to reach the U.S. in 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
The panic was put to rest, however, when it was realized that Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev was visiting New York at the time. And they didn't think it was very likely the Soviet Union would wipe out their own president.
Yeah. You know?
A later investigation found out that the radar station had mistaken the moon rising over Norway as Soviet missiles. Light rays through the atmosphere. It's following light and heat.
Well, at least it wasn't birds.
Well, not birds, but we'll get to another animal.
What? No, Brian.
You're going to like this one. This is some crazy shit.
Oh my God.
Just after midnight on October 25th. A lot of October things, even a red one.
I was wondering. Oh, shit.
Just after midnight on October 25th, a guard in the Duluth Sector Directional Center.
Duluth?
Yeah.
Duluth?
Duluth. Big open fields. You gotta shoot the missiles off somewhere.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know Duluth as being like any place where stuff happens.
Well, you pick places that are not. Strangely enough, they actively pick a lot of places like in the middle of Arizona and then like Nevada.
Well, yeah, because there's not much out there.
That's right. And also, like, if someone targets your nuke bases and they know where they are, you don't want those next to a major city.
Yeah.
You want them to go off in the middle of the desert.
And unless you have multiple old-timey fridges to jump in.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. I loved that movie.
Yeah. You know what really sucks, too?
Huh.
Even the bunkers, the reason why they just redid the bunkers in Washington, D.C.,
mm-hmm.
This is actually kind of legitimate as much as those were expensive. The old bunkers will not stop a modern nuke attack. All it would ensure is that all of our politicians that go down in them would just bake slowly to death.
I mean,
yeah, it's kind of there's your Morbid Mondays right there. So here's what happens, right? Just after October 25th, Garden Duluth, Minnesota saw a figure attempting to climb a fence around the facility. A guard, worried that the figure could be a Soviet saboteur, shot the figure and activated the sabotage alarms.
Oh my God.
This triggered air raids to go off all over air bases in the area. Pilots at Volk Field in neighboring Wisconsin started to panic, since they knew that there was no test practices that would happen in the military when we were at DEFCON 3. Oh, did I mention that this was right after a major missile event?
Oh my God. No.
Yeah, because this is all happening around. This one's happening around the 1980s, I believe.
So everyone is jumpy.
Yeah, everyone's super jumpy. We're at DEFCON 3.
Oh my God.
Pilots were taxiing down the runway when it was determined that the alarm was false. Because, Katie, they found the intruder.
Was it a raccoon?
It was a bear. Climbing the fence.
Mr. Bear!
Yeah.
Please don't start a nuclear war, Mr. Bear. Has anybody else seen that video?
No.
Fucking Disney princess standing at the front door while a bear just chews up her kayak. And she's, Mr. Bear, stop. Jesus. Anyway, so a bear almost starts World War III.
Yep. Only you can prevent nuclear holocaust.
How long have you been holding on to that? How long have you been holding
For
on to
like
that?
5 minutes.
Oh my God.
So these stories, I got these stories from a Business Insider article, but they're everywhere. You can find them all over the internet. The article that I read from had 9 examples.
Oh my God.
And I know of several others just like that just kind of happened, but I'm not sure how true they are. Because I thought this one was like Stanislav. I had always heard this of he had a big red button and he either pressed it or he didn't.
Yeah.
And that is a bit of a myth. There is no red button. That's not how these chains of commands work. The American one is famously complicated.
Oh yeah, we've got the like keys that have to be turned in perfect tandem, and there's like a plexiglass window, so you have to look the other guy in the eye while you turn the key and press the button and condemn the whole world.
And you both have guns in case the other guy's crazy. And then like that's the like maybe older version. I think some places have that system still.
I'm sure that's absolutely been dramatized, but then again, maybe not.
Yeah, because there's also the launch codes and the nuclear football, like like the whole kind of infamously hard to. You're not just going to get your hands on these. Like,
yeah,
it's
and they're like randomly regenerated every few days.
Yeah, it is.
So nobody actually knows the nuclear codes. Like you can't just memorize that shit.
No,
because it's procedurally generated. You are walking into a new dungeon every 30 minutes.
Yeah, you can't steal them, and also presidents.
Did I just Diablo that?
Yeah, that's right.
What's wrong with me?
No cows here. There's and also presidents have
shout
been
out to horses.
Nice.
You're welcome.
Nice.
All right. Anyway.
Presidents have been famously resistant to even learn about the nuclear program because humans don't want to do this.
Yeah.
When it becomes real, we stop saying, well, we should just black glass them. When the trigger is in your hands, it often causes an existential crisis.
Because you are not only condemning the people that have potentially done wrong or done a bad thing, but you are condemning children.
Yeah.
The elderly. I mean, and if that doesn't move you, the pets.
Yeah, just life. Life. Non-insectoid life. Anything that it really is crazy. So here's where, though, I kind of flipped the script because, we talked about Stanislav and a couple of other people that did the right thing, and also that it was way harder to do the wrong thing.
Yeah,
and then we kind of joked about it a little bit about all the close calls.
Yeah, because we gotta.
Now here's where Stanislav, I flipped the switch a little bit and put it back in Stanislav's court that he was very much a big important part of history.
Mm-hmm.
The Soviet Union had at that time, and so did we, what was called a dead hand switch.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a lot of people who may be listening to this are aware of what that is, but for those of y'all who don't, let me explain it real quick. If those monitoring systems that Stanislav worked with monitored incursions all over the place, like if not just 5 alarms, but alarms all over Russia had gone off due to some kind of malfunction, and also if the communication barrier had broken down for any reason, if people could not get a hold of like high command or whatever their version of that is, right? The theory of the dead man switch is that if no one responds, it goes off anyways.
Oh my God.
And it's designed to, like, even if you wipe us all out, we're still going to get your ass. This is the ultimate expression of nuclear deterrent theory. Don't shoot, you will die.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that is a no-win situation for everyone.
For everyone. And to make things worse, as we go through history, we
See why the aliens don't want to talk to us now.
Yeah, we're crazy. We're all fucking insane. As bad as this is, as we have modernized our equipment, here's the issue with like making everything as a better computer or an AI system potentially in the future.
Don't get me started on AI.
It's too fast.
Yeah.
The reason why this didn't happen is because human beings were the stopgap.
Human beings hesitated to go, wait.
Yeah. There was I forget what the term for this is, but when computers hit dead air, it's like there's not a computer chain all the way through. It has to go to a person and then back to computers. It keeps things from happening instantaneously. That is so needed because human beings will almost never press the red button.
Yeah.
It's too real. Like when the power of God is in your hand, people back away because it's terrifying. Typically. Yeah. But like the guys that flew over Japan and the Enola Gay and dropped the bombs, that fucked them up.
Oh yeah.
You know, like it really affected them. And
because once again, that is not only like you're on the field equally matched, armed and uniformed enemy. That's children.
Yeah,
families. The innocent, the literal innocent.
It's the ultimate shotgun. It's the spray and pray. I mean, like it hits and everything gets hit. At this time in the 1980s, they were really moving towards like the biggest, largest nukes.
Mm-hmm.
Things that like modern nukes do not actually cause a lot of fallout. That's something that's kind of still in movies, but that's not actually how they work. Modern nukes use a nuke to set off another nuke.
Explain.
So
I don't actually know how these bombs work because this isn't my flavor of sci-fi.
So normally what happens in the old ones, right, is that you have a lunk of, in the original two, there was a plutonium device, a plutonium implosion device, and a uranium bomb, right?
Okay.
So the way that they normally work is that you raise, through a very complex process, you're raising this chunk of incredibly dense, high energy material, like a uranium isotope, and trying to get it to a critical mass where it causes a fission reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So it causes this big giant fission reaction, and like molecules in the local area just explode with energy. It's bigger than any bomb you're ever going to create with conventional means.
Okay.
So the idea was that they wanted to reduce the amount of fallout, because what use is destroying your enemy if you can never use the land again?
Yeah, like this is hedging into like scorched earth territory, like salt and burn.
Right. And
that's useless for the next 200, 300 years.
Right. And then your water gets contaminated and everything else, right?
You can't eat anything that has grown there or survived off anything that has grown there.
Yeah.
Like any prey animal, if it survived, is tainted. Like it.
Yeah, it's like it's hunting hogs in
Chernobyl.
Yeah, like they're all kind of irradiated.
I love that we're pulling from the same.
Yeah. So here's how the modern ones work, right? There's an idea in bombing called extra damage.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys that organizes the Strategic Air Command is called Curtis LeMay. Curtis LeMay is a lunatic.
He's got a good name, though.
Curtis LeMay is the bomber guy. Like he literally wrote the book on U.S. bombing doctrine.
Oh God.
During like World War II.
So he is that bitch.
He is that bitch. He was one of the first guys to ever say that like militaries are useless. It's all about the bombers.
Oh.
So he was wrong when he said that, because he was saying that in World War II.
He's a special kind of mean girl.
Because nukes made him right. Once you have nukes, bombers are the most important thing because a bomber can wipe out countries.
Yeah.
So because of this doctrine, as we like this mutually assured destruction doctrine, the stuff that Curtis LeMay wrote, and then also the bigger, better weaponry that keeps getting developed over the various decades.
Mm-hmm.
The point of the nuke setting off the other nuke is that it is much, much larger. The original Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had a pretty large blast radius. They did a lot of damage at the zone, and they had a lot of fallout. These bombs create a firestorm.
For anyone that hasn't seen pictures from those, do not look them up. Or if you do look them up, go in with your mind and brace.
Yeah, they're pretty horrendous.
That is, I'm not bothered by a lot.
Yeah,
but that is,
and
should be deterrent enough for, eternity.
And we may talk about like the Ant-Man or something like that at a future episode.
Yeah,
that's going to require, like, we didn't really do a lot of trigger warnings about this one because there's not a lot of trigger warning talk in this one.
Yeah,
in fact, everything kind of turned out okay. so
horrific story, pretty chill ending.
Yeah, it's Stanislav retires. By the way, he dies when he's 77 years old. Stanislav is fine. He kind of dies a decorated guy, and
as he should.
Yeah,
this king prevented World War III because he went.
Yeah, the guy in the sub, by the way, whose name escapes me right now, but he also is like, if you Google Stanislav and the suggested other people,
he pops up.
He pops up. Yeah,
also,
like,
period.
People know who he was. They gave him medals. They shook his hand. Like he did the right thing. And
these people need to be recognized.
Yeah, they are very much in Russia. There are like memorial sites to them and such. Like,
good.
So, what were we talking about?
Oh shit, we went off on a little bit of a tangent. I paused you.
Oh, firebombs.
Yes.
So the modern ones create a much larger blast radius. They don't have as much fallout, or they don't have any fallout really, not like we would think of it.
Mm-hmm.
But they do, however, create big storms of fire. Because we talked about Curtis LeMay and extra damage.
Uh-huh.
The idea is that it's not just the bomb, right? In wars, in total wars, if you're dropping nukes, you're in total war.
Yeah, that is.
So, like, the idea of total war is that, like, nothing's off the table. So if you are a country that I'm attacking, I am attacking your farm fields.
Geneva Convention who?
Yes, right. We're past, right? Like, when we fought the Germans in World War II, the bombing was indiscriminate.
Yeah. And that's already awful and horrific.
Yeah. But, like, in all fairness, their bombing was also indiscriminate. They were launching rockets into London day and night.
Yeah, the Blitz.
Yeah, the V bombs, the V2s. They were killing everything in sight. They took very few prisoners. All that shit, right? Like, we were in full total war against Japan. It was the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The camps were horrendous, and like the death marches the Japanese would do, where they would capture like they needed a bridge built, so they would, if they captured like a Marine platoon, they would march them to where they needed the bridge made, keep them as slaves until they made it, and then kill them. Like, that's
yeah.
And most of them would die in the march,
Ugh.
right? Like, those are unfortunately real stories. And so the idea is that these things create such a big firestorm that the fires kind of spread,
mm-hmm.
right? Because it's fire everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and if you're dropping enough to cover like a country, everything is on fire. And like, and I don't mean like I'm saying this, and some of us might be getting the image in our head of like a forest fire. It's a fire everywhere.
Yeah, like you're talking about temperatures that can burn concrete.
Yeah, it
the very air is too hot to breathe.
It creates damage much further than its blast radius.
Yeah,
because the deadly blast radius of a nuke is not as far as the blast radius itself, right? Like, people survive on the edges.
Yeah,
but because these things are so hot. If you think about like the Terminator movie where Sarah Connor has that flashback and she like burns.
Yeah.
That's a modern nuke. Yeah. There's not fallout. Everything gets burned. And it's really fucking wild. They're the craziest things ever invented. We really should get rid of them all. Like, the only people that are advantaged by them at
100%
all.
agree.
Yeah, the only people who have any kind of advantage from them are like tiny nations that are trying to fight everyone, and there's really only one of those. So
No comment.
yeah, yeah, it's nobody wants it. Like when we get up close to it, human beings almost unanimously step away from it.
It's the flinch reflex.
Yeah, because it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's really insane. But that's our Morbid Mondays for today. Stanislav Petrov, the guy that did the right thing, as well as like at least 20 other human beings that actively
Took a step back and said, wait a second.
The guy, the people who, I think they were executed for it, that leaked the atomic bomb plans to the Russians. That happened. That's how they got the nuke. They got it from a spy. So, an American. So, what happened is that they were convinced that if only America had the bomb, we would just use it on people. So, they gave it to the Russians to try to balance the scales. And they were probably right.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's really crazy. But the mutually assured destruction thing did keep us from using nukes on each other. Whereas, like, Truman, when we had the bomb and they were considering using it on Japan, kind of just went, well, we didn't build the thing not to use it.
Ugh.
The targets that we picked in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they were largely untouched because they had very little military value. It was mostly just people. And so the reason why they were selected is because the towns were still mostly together. They had to see what the bombs did.
Jesus.
Because if you dropped that on Tokyo, Tokyo was already wrecked.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't really get the point, right?
My God.
And it's one of those things that when you look at bombs, conventional bombs, when they drop and they hit things, they create craters.
Yeah.
And the craters are pretty deep, especially for things like Moab size. The craters can be pretty deep. The craters of nukes is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I mean, it looks like somebody had a small pond that just dried up all of a sudden. They're giant. And you go like, well, what the fuck? Like it is a weapon that we don't consider as being as horrible as it really is because our brains have a hard time wrapping around what they are and what they do.
And the sheer mass of destruction that they are capable of. Ooh.
I really hope for a future where there are no more Stanislavs because we don't need that. We don't need them anymore. There really isn't a functional use for that or for war really in general outside of like stopping truly tyrannical forces. But like, yeah, that's the issue with nukes is that if you stop a tyrannical force with a nuke, doesn't that make you the tyrannical force?
Yeah.
It's the ultimate boot. You know what I mean? Like that's
here. If heroes live long enough, they become the villain.
Yeah, it's really, I don't know. That's my thoughts this week as we just did a bunch of attacks to stop a country from creating nukes, or for other reasons. There are probably multiple reasons why that happened, but one of the reasons was the uranium enrichment program that Iran was trying to build. Everybody was very, very afraid of Iran having nukes for, I think, what are probably pretty obvious reasons, but also because our foothold in the Middle East is Israel, and we continue to play this weird game of Risk in the Middle East where countless people have been put into a meat grinder. Exhausting. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll get our collective heads out of our asses.
Maybe. Hang on, I'm looking up the doom clock right now.
Oh, to see how many minutes to midnight we are?
Yeah.
What does it say?
1 minute and 25 seconds to midnight.
Wow, check that shit out.
Jesus.
I mean, we're not in the seconds. That's the DEFCON numbers right there when you're in the seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, guys.
That was a heavy episode, but I don't know anyone in Missouri. Leave me alone. Sorry, my phone randomly just decided to ring.
Oh. I was like, what?
The good news is at least with human oversight, we have the opportunity to take a step back and not destroy.
You know, when they first tested at Los Alamos, the nukes, that they first tested, they had built the tower and tested the uranium device. They were making bets on if it would ignite the atmosphere. That's kind of a joke because they wouldn't have done it if they thought it was going to kill them instantaneously. But that's one of the rumors of Los Alamos, is that they all like betted on it if it would ignite the atmosphere and like, you know, cause one of those firestorms we were just talking about to spread all over the place.
I have opinions on this that will send us into another hour of recording with my rant. So I'm going to restrain myself. But at the risk of cliche, I'm going to quote one of my favorite fictional characters, Dr. Ian Malcolm. Y'all need to take a minute to stop thinking, can we do it? And start thinking about if you should do it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave it at that.
One of the like issues about like what's happening in Iran right now is that it's that they exist. You know what I mean? Like people are like, well, we got to stop them from making nukes. It's like, well, we have nukes. They want them because we have them, because Israel has them, because everybody has them. You know, it's like that's one of the biggest issues, is that if one person has them, everyone else is afraid. So they have to have them too.
It's I get that it's leveling the playing field. Like, but it's
get rid of the field.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
how's about, instead of giving everyone a great big stick, we just remove the game.
Yeah, no more big giant sticks.
No more big sticks.
There's no, because you have a thing that like if you do use it, you could destroy the natural environment forever.
Yeah. Like I know that Japan came back from it. But
from two very small ones.
From two very small, very early ones. We have advanced in horrifying leaps and bounds since then.
Yeah, we currently, like during the height of all of this, and I think still between us and Russia, the combined bombardment, had we struck each other, is enough to basically destroy everything like 3 times over.
Yeah, so let's not cook the world, guys.
Yeah. It's the craziest shit ever. I just, you know, if you ever get a chance to vote on should we have nukes or not, pick your favorite animal and then ask yourself the question, would you like to kill every one of these animals?
Yeah. Because it has the potential to wipe out all life on Earth.
Yeah. I mean, it'll still be around in the depths of the ocean. The bugs will do great.
Yeah.
Mushrooms will have another heyday.
All of our doomsday preppers will be like, you know, medium rare baked in their bunkers.
Yeah. Because concrete blocks one story into the ground are not going to stop
enough.
This. Yeah, like that's.
And even then, even if you have stocked up on like, oh, we have 5 years of supplies, do you know how long it takes? You're not going to make it, bud.
Yeah. It's the great irony, the greatest irony of all the crazy nuke shit is that had it gone off like halfway scale, you know, like enough like to where we're bombing each other's capitals,
mm-hmm.
the people who would have survived the greatest industrial destruction of all time are the people that we've been fucking over forever. South America and Africa would have been fine.
Yep. Because they're far enough away.
They were so out of the way. And I was just like, oh man. It's like,
ugh.
That was the craziest shit to me, is that like everyone would hear it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that it would change the weather. Like, cause it's still kind of debated whether or not nuclear winter would happen, if that's a real thing. Cause we just don't know. There's no real way to calculate this.
Well, yeah. Cause like you're talking about apocalypse level events, like an ash cloud blotting out the sun. The closest thing that we have to like theorizing on that is volcano eruptions.
Right.
Pompeii.
Which are really hard. They're like in like the meteor hits in the medieval period, or Vesuvius, right?
thank you. I couldn't think of Vesuvius.
Yeah, that's the what was the big one that caused the Krakatoa?
Yep.
That caused the year with no summer. There's like, we don't know how long they'll stick because it really depends on the combination, the composition of what goes up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't know how fast rain or weather patterns can take care of it. We don't know how the environment will react.
And here's the thing is that our entire like planetary ecology already exists on such a razor edge.
Yeah.
Because conditions have to be like astronomically perfect for human life to continue. Like, I get that we are a resilient species. I read literary jokes about this shit all the time. Like, I'm sure I've sent several to you about how alien ships always want a human on there because a human's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we breathe poison.
Yeah, space orcs.
Yeah, we are the space orcs.
Space orcs. Yeah.
But to survive, to keep our habit implantable,
Yeah.
our planet inhabitable, the combination of events that led to sustained life, civilization, advancement were one in a million.
Oh wait, like astronomically so, because like not only did we exist, there have been mass extinctions on Earth.
Yeah.
Several.
And there's been like I was reading an article the other day because I was doing research for my next Morbid Monday. And I was reading that it's theorized that we're due for another like mini ice age.
Yeah, at some point.
Like in the next like 150 years.
But we really don't know because the data set on that is so small that we have no clue.
We have no fucking clue.
15,000 years.
Yeah. Or it could start tomorrow.
Yeah, we really have no fucking idea, and it's one of those things that's frustrating about like climate science because the climate change denier guys come around.
Oh my god,
and
it's so annoying.
Like,
the data's right there.
Yeah, it was like, no, we can track the faster warming. And they're like, well, but isn't the Earth warm and cool anyways? It's like, yeah, but not at the rate it's doing.
Also, look at okay, coming at it from a costuming perspective, look at historical garments.
Yeah, they're very heavy and warm.
Yeah. Like, you don't even have to go back very far. 1536. Have you seen, like, the clothing that they were wearing?
The 85-degree English summers that never got hotter than that?
Yeah. And like, now, like, Texas weather has escaped to Canada and Europe. We're sorry, guys. We left the gate open.
Yeah. And the mechanism that our wonderful planet has to regulate its constantly warming oceans is to create constantly cooling storms.
Yeah.
That's what happens when the ocean gets hot. It creates mega hurricanes.
And that's why we've had, class 4 and 5 hurricanes in the last 2 years?
And
just in the last 2 years. Every hurricane that's hit has been a major hurricane. We haven't had any dinky ones, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I think the closest thing to a dinky one was the one that hit us. 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And even that, it didn't have sustained winds at 120 miles an hour. We had spikes of wind at 120 miles an hour. So, like, there were instances where it was a fucking class 4 hurricane.
Yeah.
And they told us when it hits land, it's only going to be a 2. No, it wasn't.
Fucked up everything.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Trees all over for like 500 miles.
Thank God we didn't freaking flood.
Dude, that was horrible. So, like, but that's the thing.
Anyway, I told you I wasn't going to go off on a rant about climate change and then immediately did it. So I'm sorry. So let's all, if we ever get the opportunity, let's all vote throw the nukes away.
Yeah, just get rid of the damn things.
Because
keep the tiny little nuclear generators, the pocket sized ones.
Dude, the power plants. Do you know how safe nuclear power actually is?
It's very safe. Like,
and it's fucking clean.
It's in the newest generation are like tiny.
Yeah.
They're little bitty things. And so like they were talking about like the newest way that they work, and they're kind of like, well, if anything happens, we'll shut it down. And like, you can do that. It's like, yeah, we shut it off now. Not only can we shut it off, it's also so small that if something did happen, really wouldn't be much of a problem.
Like, we're not talking about the devil's sphere anymore.
No, they don't do that shit anymore. Like the big, New
that would be a
Jersey.
good Morbid Monday.
Yeah.
That would be a really good Morbid Monday.
Yeah, there's no Chernobyls anymore. They're way smaller than that. They're much more safe. it does still require you to enrich uranium and such, but like,
yeah, but still, but that is an excellent take two.
yeah.
That is an excellent example of humanity learning its lesson.
Yeah, and they can also reuse their spent rods.
Yeah.
And that's like, we've never been able to do that shit before.
And that's so cool.
Yeah,
like, yay,
so much better.
Yay, that kind of science.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
less on the destruction and more on the like creation and making world better.
Fuck yeah, yeah.
All right, throw the bombs away.
Yeah, throw the bombs away.
Throw the fucking bombs away.
Let's all become solar punks.
Fuck yeah.
Just have a good day.
Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a rough week.
Yeah, it has. Shit.
Hey, this is Brian from Morbid Mondays. If you like the show, please consider stopping by at our Ko-fi account. That's ko-fi/Morbid Mondays. It's $1 a month, or just any one-time tip. And if you would like to help us fund our future endeavors or just want to show a little bit of appreciation, awesome. Thank you so much for listening. And if you don't. Whatever. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening.